Okay, today we basically worked on some practice ACT trig problems, a couple others as well, and also there was an optional alternate assignment today to watch the movie Coded Bias, simply because it is an excellent movie that is very pertinent to real life mathematics right now, and it is only available on PBS for free until Wednesday. So if you would like to do that assignment instead, you certainly can. Okay. This was the first problem that I had people working on. And what we're gonna try is something called learning by example. So this over here is an example, and it pertains to this blue triangle, and then I'm gonna have y'all do the work for this green triangle over here. So all of this stuff is already done on the page that you get in Desmos. So for each of the following right triangles, find the values of the sine of A, the cosine of A, the tangent of A, and the sine of B, the cosine of B, and the tangent of B. I wrote over here kind of in this red box just the ratios that you need to be familiar with. You have probably heard of them as SO, CA, TOA. That would be sine. Okay, sine is related to the opposite over the hypotenuse, so the O for opposite and H for hypotenuse. Cosine, and then A for adjacent over H for hypotenuse, and T stands for tangent, and then that is the opposite over the adjacent, so O and A. So SOHCAHTOA basically just helps us remember what the relationship is. It's just a mnemonic. It doesn't do much more than that, but it can be helpful. So what we find over here is that we have the sine of A is 9/15. So let's look at this real quick. We've got angle A over here, angle B over here, angle C right here is the right angle. So the sine of A, so this is angle A. Sine is always the opposite over the hypotenuse, so I go all the way over to the opposite. That's where I got the 9 right here over the hypotenuse, and the hypotenuse is always the longest side, which is 15, which is where I got the 15. I would pause the video and make sure that you understand these different ones as well, but let's go over here where we're going to fill out the sine, cosine, and tangent of A and B. Okay, so the sine of angle A. Angle A is this one, and for sine, we're going to want the opposite over the hypotenuse. So I'm going to find the opposite, in this case, for angle A. If we are dealing only with angle A, the opposite is here, the adjacent is right next to it, and the hypotenuse is, of course, over here. So in this case, my opposite side is 24, and my hypotenuse is 26. So that will totally work for us. The cosine of A would be the adjacent, or 10/26. And then the tangent of A would be the opposite, which is 24, over the adjacent, which is 10. If we're now going to start looking at angle B, notice things are going to switch. The opposite of angle B is the side that is 10, and the adjacent for angle B is over here. So for the sine of B, we're going to get 10/26. The cosine of B is going to be 24/26. And then notice the tangent of B is going to be the opposite, which is 10, over the adjacent, which is 24. And I want to point out just a couple things that I think are useful to note here. The sine of A and the cosine of B are equal to each other. We have 24/26 here, we have 24/26 here. Same thing with cosine of A and sine of B, you get the 10/26. And then the tangents I wrote next to each other because they just are reciprocals of each other. Let me know if you have questions about that. Okay, second problem. Your instruction here was to draw a right triangle for each problem, label the sides and angles with the given measures, and then solve to find the unknown value. So the original problem was this one. It said the cosine of 27 is the same as r/8.5. So we know that cosine of an angle, of any old angle, so this symbol right here is just an angle, is equal to the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse side. So that would indicate to me that R is going to be my adjacent side, and 8.5 would be the hypotenuse. And I know that because the angle here is 27 degrees, I needed to have 27 degrees. So this triangle was drawn with an angle of 27, and then I intentionally labeled the adjacent side to that 27 as R, and the hypotenuse as 8.5. Once you've got that, then you can start solving for that unknown value. Cosine of 27, you're just going to get this from your calculator. And what you want to make sure that you are, calculator, make sure that it is in degrees. It's important for you to know that a calculator has to function in either radians or degrees. On Desmos, it will look like this, where you type in cosine of 43 over here, and then if you click on this wrench right here, it will let you toggle back and forth. So if you click on radians, it would highlight in radians. If you click on degrees, it'll highlight in degrees, and this is giving us the correct value. So I know that the cosine of 43, no matter what I do, is 0.73. Okay. Oh goodness, but I don't want 43, I want 27. It's okay, I did the math earlier, Christ. So cosine of 27 is 0.891, and then it's literally just solving this problem, is that some number divided by 8.5 is 8.91. Well, the opposite of dividing is multiplying, so I've just multiplied both sides by 8.5 here, and I would get that my distance is 7.6. It's super useful to give yourself a kind of gut check here of saying, okay, does it make sense if this, my hypotenuse is 8.5, that this could be 7.6? It seems reasonable to me because this must be longer than any of these sides, and just rationally it looks okay. So just check yourself. Like if we gotten an answer of 13 over here, that would be a problem because it would be longer than my hypotenuse. Okay, so the problem that we have now is this one. So we need to draw a triangle with has a sine of 53.1. So that means since it is sine of an angle is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. So this is my opposite side, and this is my hypotenuse side. So when I draw this triangle, 53 is fairly big, so I'm going to make kind of a bigger angle here. And I'll label this one as 53.1. And then the opposite side, I'm going to mark as x, and the hypotenuse, I'm going to mark as 5. So that's what my triangle looks like. And then I'm just going to go about solving this. So we've got sine of 53.1 is the same as x over 5. To get that x all by itself, I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. So I get x is equal to 5 times the sine of 53.1. And if you go through and do the math, so like plug this into a calculator, make sure you're in degrees like we did here, multiply by 5, you will end up getting x is equal to 4. And this side length is 4 units long. For this problem, for each triangle, write an equation to calculate the labeled measure. So in this case, I was trying to find b. So I identified that that was opposite this marked angle of 29, and I knew that this was my hypotenuse. So since I had the opposite and I had the hypotenuse, I knew that opposite and hypotenuse would give me sine. So I set this up as the sine of 29 is equal to b over 35. Sine of 29, I used a calculator. I got that as about 484 thousandths. Multiplied by 35, and I got b. This is a b. It's not a badly written 6. It's just a badly written b. B is equal to 16.9. And then, of course, do that quick little gut check on yourself. If this is 35, could this be about 17? Seems reasonable. Okay, so here we've got this angle. And again, you should try this before you play the rest of the video to get the answer here. But this is my opposite side. And this right here is my adjacent side. The hypotenuse, of course, is the longest side here. But so in this case, I have opposite and adjacent. That means that I'm going to use the tangent. The tangent of an angle is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. So the tangent of 43 degrees is going to be equal to a divided by 6.9. You can multiply both sides by 6.9 then. And then a is the same as 6 9/10 multiplied by the tangent of 43. and you will get that A is equal to approximately 6.43 degrees, or units. This is about 6.43. And if this was a 6 and 9/10, 6 and 4/10 seems reasonable. This is almost 45 degrees, so they should be pretty close to each other, this side and this side. Okay, now is when we actually get to the practice ACT questions. Anytime you're doing these questions, you want to remember, use what you can, so you get to use a calculator, so make use of it. So it says line segments WX, which is right here, XY, which is right here, and YZ, which is right here, represent the dimensions of a rectangular box. So it's just a box, but it's not necessarily a cube. They have the lengths 12 centimeters, 5 centimeters, and 13 centimeters, respectively. Respectively just means that they told you all of them in the same order. So WX is going to be 12. XY is going to be 5, and YZ is going to be 13. So I'm going to label those appropriately. So WX, this one right here, is going to be 12 centimeters. This one right here is going to be 5 centimeters. And then this taller one right here is going to be 13 centimeters, by which I mean that one right there. Okay, and then it says, what is the cosine of ZWY? So ZWY is start at Z, go down to W, go over to Y. I'm asking about this angle right here that is part of this kind of middling triangle that's sort of in the middle there. Well, I'm going to use a couple different triangles to get there. I'm going to use the triangle WYX, which has a right angle here, is 5 centimeters here, and is 12 centimeters here. And then this edge right here is going to correspond to this edge right here in the triangle. So you kind of imagine I'm kind of looking down on this that happens to be sitting in the bottom down there. If it helps, you can also color in, like this is that red line, this is that blue line. And then you just need your old classic a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Remember, this is used for a right triangle, and we have a right triangle right now, and it's just used to find the missing side. So I'm going to set this up and say 5 squared plus 12 squared is the same as c squared. So 25 plus 144, use a calculator for this, that's totally reasonable. Sum these together, you get 169 is equal to c squared, and thus c is equal to the square root of 169, or 13. So this is going to be 13 centimeters right here. So that means that my black triangle that's kind of sitting in here is the triangle WZY, W, and both sides are actually 13 units long. That means that these are 45-degree angles. So if you wanted to, you could just kind of stop there and use the fact that you know, okay, if those are both equal, like this side and this side are equal, this is going to be a 45-degree angle, and you could plug in and figure out what is the cosine of 45. But let's say you don't know that. If you don't know that, then you're going to be asked, what is the cosine of ZWY? The cosine is going to be the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse side. And you can do the exact same trick to find out. I'm going to call this H for hypotenuse. You could say, okay, cool. 13 squared plus 13 squared is equal to H squared. This will get you 338 is the same as H squared, and H is approximately 18.4. Then the cosine of the angle ZWY is equal to 13 adjacent divided by 18.4. This, if you plug it into a calculator, is about 0.7. And if you check here, this is not it because this is more than 1. this is equal to 1, that doesn't work. This is not equal to 0.07, this is not equal, and it does end up being this one. If you plug a square root of 2 over 2 into a calculator, you will get about 0.7. Let me know what questions you've got. This is a classic proportion problem, and there's so many different ways that you could do this. One of the ways, since you have a calculator available, is you could just divide out, and you could say 14 divided by 21, and you would get that that is about 0.67. It's 0.6 repeating, but same idea. And you could just try, like plug in each of these numbers and say 4 divided by 27, is that equal to 0.67? Question mark? Nope, it's not. You could just keep plugging things in. That is one option that is available to you. Another option is that you could just multiply things out. You could say, okay, well, if I multiply by 27 here, then I would get rid of those 27s, and then I would get 27 times 14 over 21 is equal to k, and then you can just plug this into a calculator, and you will get that the answer is 18. K is 18, and that works just fine for you. You could also look and say, okay, well, 14 divided by 7, that is 2, if I divide it by 7, and 21 divided by 7 is 3, so I know I need to get 2/3. Well, if you divide 27 by 3, you're going to get 9, and 9 times 2 is also 18. There's a ton of different ways to do it. Pick the thing that makes the most sense to you and roll with it. Last problem of the day. Given that f of x is x to the third minus x to the second minus x, what is the value of f of negative 3? All they're asking you to do here is they're saying, okay, what if x was negative 3? And you're just going to literally plug in and say, okay, f of negative 3 would be equal to negative 3 cubed minus negative 3 squared minus negative 3. Be careful with your negatives and parentheses. Negative 3, this right here, means negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3. We have 1, 2, 3 of them. You're going to end up with a negative number, and it's going to be negative 27 minus this right here would get you positive 9, because negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. And then you would just have minus negative 3. I'm just dragging this part down here. And then feel free to plug into a calculator if you want, or you could simplify if you want. This would get me negative 36 minus a negative 3 is kind of like adding, and you would end up with negative 33 as your solution, which is G. There's a lot of problems in here. Please let me know if you have questions. Mostly we're just getting practice, and